10 years ago,
That does indeed happen.
Hurricane Charlie put the Bay Area on edge.
Charlie took off all of our roof over.
Now, in 2014, are we better prepared for the storm? From Florida's most accurate weather team, taking action for you, this is the ABC Action Weather Hurricane Special. Safety in the storm.
How you doing, everybody? I'm ABC Action News Chief Meteorologist Dennis Phillips. Thanks for joining us. We're here in Tampa to help you prepare for this upcoming hurricane season. Now, whether you're a seasoned pro or whether this is your first year, we're taking action for you and your family to help prepare you, your home, and even your wallet. Shay Ryan is going to show you some low-cost and even free ways to protect your home. Wayne Shattuck has a special guest surprising one of our viewers. What we were looking for and why this will be crucial for you to have this hurricane season. Taking Action reporter Jackie Calloway is giving you answers to your insurance questions. And we're also going to look back at this 10-year anniversary of Hurricane Charlie, the storm that really put the Bay Area on high alert. Bill Logan has a look at whether the Bay Area is prepared 10 years later. Plus, I'm visiting some of the viewers who reached out to us during that time. But let's start by talking about this upcoming hurricane season. Now, you probably know I'm not really big on long-range hurricane forecasts. Their accuracy are less than 50%. But Colorado State University were the pioneers in the science. For this year, they're predicting 9 named storms, 3 hurricanes, and 1 major hurricane. When we look at a long-range hurricane forecast, one of the biggest factors that go into play is whether or not there's an El Nino. An El Nino is just an area of warm water off the coast of South America, but believe it or not, it has a direct impact on the number of hurricanes we see here in the States. When that warm water increases, our chances of hurricanes go down. But sometimes, even in an active El Nino year, it can still be a very active season.
All you have to do is go back to Hurricane Andrew, right? It was an El Nino year, below normal season. It was the A storm and it was the end of August, so that gives you an idea how quiet the whole summer had been. And then look at the disaster that happened. And so that's why, it doesn't matter how many storms there are.
Florida has already had a test just recently. A spring storm system led to flooding, evacuations, and rescues from rising waters in Pensacola. Our partners at the American Red Cross were called in to help. They say this should be a wake-up call for all of us.
First and foremost, it's really know the value of being prepared. So imagine tomorrow that there was a major flood that you weren't expecting, and what would happen? Who would you contact? Where would you go? What would you bring if you had to go to a shelter tonight? It's all about preparedness.
And let's not forget last year when Tropical Storm Andrea ripped roofs from homes, knocked down trees, and left a flooded mess across the Bay Area. And we're also reminded of the destruction of Hurricane Charlie 10 years ago. It was an eye-opener for the Bay Area. Then Tampa Mayor Pam Iorio was in our studio when we talked about the storm making that turn.
Well, I'll never forget it. I'd only been mayor for about a year, and so here comes this major hurricane. It was expected to come right up Tampa Bay, so it was going to be one of those worst-case scenarios. And we were looking at, well, how prepared are we? Because I was relatively new and a lot of the staff was new, and we weren't really sure how well prepared we were. And I went to ABC Action News and I was being interviewed about what people should do in terms of evacuation. We were talking about how we were going to evacuate Davis Islands and Harbor Island and downtown, and how people needed to seek shelter. And so we were going through all the emergency preparedness messages. And then meteorologist Dennis Phillips said he needed to interrupt the interview. And he said, I just have news for the mayor. And he said the Hurricane Charlie is going to make a right-hand turn, and it's not going to hit Tampa.
We're looking at somewhere Venice southward of Fort Myers as opposed to the Bay Area.
I just never forget that as long as I live, the time Dennis Phillips said to me, it's turning away from Tampa Bay. I think it would have been just terrible. We really took that near miss as an opportunity to improve. And today, Tampa is much more prepared than we were in 2004. There's no doubt about that.
After our continuing coverage of Charlie and the other volatile storms that season, Francis, Ivan, and Jean, hundreds of you wrote into ABC Action News sending us thank you emails, letting us know that our information helped you make life-saving decisions. I still have 4 binders full of those emails, and I had a chance to visit with 2 of those viewers in Lakeland.
Dear Dennis, we watched along with Mayor Iorio as you forecast the jog and the hurricane. It was at that time we became truly alarmed about the storm's path towards Lakeland. The forecasts are always right on target. Because of these consistent predictions, our family has dubbed you our weather guru.
That email from Carolyn Butler Stout was one of the hundreds that meant a lot to us here at ABC Action News as we took action to keep viewers safe during the Big Four of 2004. Charlie, Ivan, Francis, and Jean. 10 years later, I paid Carolyn a visit to her home in Lakeland. Hey, how you doing, Carolyn?
My weather guru!
Carolyn has lived in Polk County most of her life. She says she's never experienced a hurricane season like 2004.
We had never really had anything that catastrophic hit this area until the four. Like I said, when I think of 2004, I don't think of just Charlie. It's all of those storms.
A trash can on her back porch serves as a reminder of what she went through during Hurricane Jean.
We just watched in horror as the one trunk of this big oak that we had in the back just fell. And like I said, it was like in slow motion, watching this thing fall down and crumble the entire pavilion that we had. It was devastating to us because that's where my husband and I spend a lot of our time out there. I just remember screaming and just sliding down the wall.
The storms of 2004 also had a lasting impact on lifetime Lakeland resident Valerie Yorn, who also emailed us during Hurricane Charlie.
I realized Punta Gorda is where the hurricane was headed, but we needed information regarding the storm approaching Polk as well. And it was so nice that you were covering Lakeland and Polk County. I had never seen trees in our yard bend all the way down, and that was a little scary. And I thought to myself, well, I don't want to be in any kind of a hurricane that's any faster winds than this.
10 years later, Carolyn and her husband have rebuilt their pavilion, but will always be reminded of that very close call.
From Charlie through all of them. It was the most I've been frightened of storms, ever.
Our Wayne Shattuck is making a house call to another viewer, and he's bringing a member of the American Red Cross with him. What they were looking for in one family's home and why it's going to be crucial for you too this hurricane season.
I'm Bill Logan in Tampa, where emergency managers will gather to decide whether or not we'll need to go in the event of a storm. We'll talk to them about what that message is and how we need to stay prepared coming up this year.
I'm going to show you ways that you can protect your property in the event of a storm, and it won't cost you a dime.
You're watching an ABC Action Weather special, Safety in the Storm.